Hello everyone, it's me, Science Pyro 07, and today I come at you with a review on the Dino Rivals Dual Attack Triceratops. So now, this thing being a Triceratops, I don't really think a lot of information needed to be given, besides it lived in the late Cretaceous alongside T-Rex and Ankylosaurus, and it was named after these 3-foot-long horns. These 3-foot-long horns, and then the smaller horn on its nose, which ends up translating to 3-horned face. It was, and with those horns, it was more than capable of defending itself from a T-Rex. Anyway, so this is a large-sized dinosaur. It, like, not only in real life, but also model-wise, it is large. It's decently modeled, I must say. It's actually a decent model. It's a little inaccurate, but then again, it is Jurassic World. It's a little inaccurate considering it has like these little hornlets around its frill, and a real adult Triceratops would not have had those. Only juveniles. And it's got kind of elephantine type legs or feet, but other than that, it's okay. Like, accuracy wise. The model itself is well detailed. Well enough. It's got varying size of scales. Clearly, there are these larger ones in between the smoother ones, which is accurate, decently accurate, along the entire body, really. Much less so on the tail, mostly on the back and some of the leg. The front leg is actually probably the most well-detailed thing of this entire model, because the rest of, or the back of the frill, I guess, because although it's detailed, it feels pretty smooth. There's no real scale details. The underside is pretty much smooth. So yeah, there's not a lot of detail on this thing. I mean, there's detail, but texture-wise, there's not a lot. Overall, I like its coloration. It's really just a solid olive green, army greenish, with brown patterning on its back and along the edge of the frill, as well as little spots here and there on the legs. But this patterning is a lot less noticeable in person than it is on camera. And even then, it's kind of hard to see. So, kind of blends in with the body, which is actually pretty cool. There's only a light patch of light brown on its throat for underbelly, for underside colors. The horns and hornlets are like a light grayish brown color. Same with the beak. The nostril is actually well detailed. The eye is a light yellow, but the pupil is just the same color as the body. Oh, I forgot. The front of the frill is actually nicely detailed. This actually is the most well detailed thing on the entire body right here, because this actually has some texture, and the scales are very well made. It's relatively dull coloration though. So that's it for color. Articulation, actually it has very little. The legs can stick out a little, but not a lot. The front legs can move some, but again, really not a lot, not a 3D circle. The hind legs can stick out some to help with balance, and they can go in a 360 circle. And that's it for articulation. The Jurassic logo is there. The scan code is there. You know, that's it for articulation, but that's because of the action feature. You may have already seen there are 2 buttons on its back, of which correlate to different action features. The rear button moves the tail in a striking manner, and the front button moves the head in a striking manner. So yeah, it's actually pretty decent. Decent action feature. Accurate for a Triceratops, I'd say. Back in 2020 when I got this thing, this being a Dino Rivals animal, it was a 2019 species, but I got it in 2020. I can remember that the box feature displaying the action features showed it both tail whacking and head striking at their dual attack concavenator. But I don't have the box anymore. That's long gone. So yeah. That's about it in terms of like action feature. It's like cool. You can either make it go slow or like aggressive towards your humans or other dinosaur models. The buttons do not require you to press it very quickly. You can go slow. A problem actually is you cannot press both buttons at the same time. It's either, you can only do one at a time. The head, if you do the head, you can barely move the tail. And if you do the tail, you just can hardly move the head. The head buttons, at least on my model, not sure about others, but the head button is a little more difficult to press than the tail button. And so yeah, that's that. Being a Dino Rivals animal, it does have a card. It comes with a collector's card, as kind of like I think it's a Kenner Lost World collector cards, inspired thing. I don't have any of those, so I'm not really sure. But Dino Rivals cards, it's nice light shade of gray with Dino Rivals and Jurassic World logos, both by Mattel. Oh no, the logos aren't by Mattel, but the card and dinosaur is. And on the other side of it, it shows the animal's stats. So Triceratops, an illustration of it, which I think this is a generic Jurassic, like, pose for Triceratops. But you got these stats, which are like strength, speed, intelligence, and aggression, which show the different stats for the animal. And this 21 here is what adds up to, what all those stats add up to. And so, yeah, Dino Rivals category is kind of like showing you their stats and basically how they would fare against each other, or how they do fare against each other. It was only a 2019 series, so they stopped it in 2020, but yeah. So that's the Dino Rivals Dual Attack Triceratops. I got this thing again in 2020. But it was released in 2019. I don't know what it was still doing in stores in like halfway through 2020. It was about $20 then, but these days it can go for a lot more or less. I've actually been surprised that some of the older dinosaurs I found are actually cheaper than I expected. But yeah, I'd say about maybe $30 if it's used, but if you want a new one, definitely it's gonna go way up. But yeah. That's the Dual Attack Triceratops. Hope you enjoyed today's episode, and I will see you again next time. Goodbye.